Hi everyone, welcome again to our show called All Things Autism and More. With me is Claire, Patricia, and I'm Irene. And today we have a special guest called Fred, Mr. Fred Muyinza. Fred, you're most welcome to this show.
Thank you.
Fred is a special person in the life of my family. He's been in Yona's life for a lifetime. I think since Yona was he like about 7 years? About that long. Fred is an occupational therapist, and he's going to share with us his experience as an occupational therapist in the space of supporting special needs children, especially those with autism. Introduce yourself.
Irene, thank you again. My name is Fred Muyinza. I am an occupational therapist, and I have been an occupational therapist since 2010 up to date.
14
And
years.
during that journey, I met with Irene, and through Irene, I've also got a chance to be here. And also I've met all of these ladies through Irene. So that is me.
Welcome, Fred.
Thank you.
We've always promised our viewers that we'll bring an occupational therapist, and there's no one better than you. We appreciate the work you do, your working style, but I think for somebody out there, they hear therapy. Maybe you tell us, what exactly does that term mean, occupational therapy?
Occupational therapy is a free profession that is under healthcare, and it majorly focuses on assisting individuals that have been identified for the need, to help them achieve independency in performing skills in different activities, but most especially activities of their daily life. Also activities in their leisure and social areas, also activities in their productive life, say work area. Yes. In this profession, we usually use a holistic approach, and by holistic we focus on the physical ability, on the physical life of somebody. We also focus on the cognitive life, the emotional life, and also the social. How does the person relate with the environment, relate with other people? And during our practice, we focus more on employing techniques that are evidence-based.
Okay.
Yes.
Maybe
So
could you
simply
summarize?
that is occupational therapy.
Maybe you could touch a little more on when you say techniques that are evidence-based.
When in our practice, one of the things that we also even train in school is creativity. With creativity, you can do many things. You can do anything. But we want to use our creativity to refer to in reference to techniques that have been used by other people, and it is reflected in documentation, or it is reflected in documentation. So such that we 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 reduce on the time, but also it being a science is more research based. Yeah.
And results. So when it's
Yes.
evidence-based, it has proven.
Yes, it has proven.
It has proven results.
Yes,
So-
proven results.
Yes, and you
Thank
can speak to it. Eh? Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. I think then the question is, for us being a show that talks about autism, all things autism and more, how then does it come into the autism space?
Autism. Allow me to say autism and related neurodevelopmental conditions.
Yes.
When you look at autism and the neurodevelopmental conditions, usually people who are living with such conditions, we see a lot of challenges in them, in their way of performing the skills, like I told you, skills in those different areas: the daily life, the social life, the productive life. So we want to see how can sometimes they struggle to perform these skills independently. So we want to see how can the independence be achieved. So in that way, because they say many times they struggle to get to perform those skills independently, this is how occupational therapy comes in to focus on that independence performance.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So to help them acquire those skills, eh?
Yes.
So it could be feeding.
Uh-huh.
What other skills does then occupational therapy help with?
Say for example, in daily life,
Yes.
daily life is about, there are things that you can't miss a day doing. You can never miss, maybe it is by choice, you can miss eating.
Okay.
You can never miss dressing up. You can never miss bathing.
Bathing. Brushing teeth.
Productivity. You have a role in your life. You might be a mother. You might be a wife. You might be a sister to somebody. So in all those roles, there is what you do to other person, to another person's life. You have an importance in another person's life. So in all that, there are those tasks that
Right.
you do depending on your role.
Right.
In leisure, in social life, it is so much to relate with other people, but also there are other activities that you do to take up your leisure time. Say singing, say playing a musical instrument, say painting. Yeah. For example, painting can be a leisure, can also be a productive activity.
Sure.
So
Sure.
we look at you and we see how your cognitive ability, how your cognitive ability supports your performance of different tasks in that activity.
Okay.
Okay, that makes sense. So it's not just touching on your daily activity.
Yes.
Okay, it's your daily activity, but plus more. What this person, you're coming to support this person on how they can contribute in relating in different aspects of life.
Yes. There are things that in a bigger picture that are not so much given so much attention. When you look at me, I am, you see me as Fred Muinza, but I am a son to someone.
Yes.
There are things that I do to that person to whom I'm a son, which I don't do to you as a friend. There are things that I do to you as a friend, or we do together as friends, which I don't do to somebody who is my sister, who is my brother.
Yes.
So in different areas, I play different roles.
Right.
That's what makes us
Who we
people, who we are.
Yes.
That's what brings the interconnection. So in all those areas, there is independence. That's what moves the world.
Yes.
So it is very crucial. Independence is very important in that way.
So you're basically helping the individual to understand, this is a mother, this is my father, so this is the role, or the things I must, the context of the person and the nature of the relationship.
Yes, let me try to break it a bit
Yes.
further. As I'm assuming you are an employee to someone.
Okay.
You have a boss.
Yes.
In the morning, and I'm assuming you are a mother. You are also a wife. In the morning, you wake up. Allow me use this. Yes, you lay, you lay your bed.
Yes.
Your bed with your husband.
Yes.
Yeah, but that is not your daughter or your son is not bothered by that.
He's not concerned about that.
Your daughter or your son,
Yes.
what concerns them is food at the table. Yeah. So you, after laying the bed, you go and see what is
And do
this guy
another
going to
role.
eat.
Okay.
But your boss is not concerned about
Any
that.
of that.
What is happening at home?
Yes.
So your boss is concerned. Have you delivered? Have you finished the report you were supposed to
Yes.
do? Have you done it well?
Yes.
Have you delivered on time? So, at different moments in different areas with different people,
We are different.
your roles interchange.
Get it. Okay.
So you have the ability to independently execute those roles.
Those roles.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, that's interesting. I think before people used to think occupational therapy is just support with how to dress, how to use the toilet.
I think people even confuse it with physiotherapy.
Yes.
When you say therapy, I think people understand that it's physiotherapy. So maybe, I know you're not...
It is a free occupation.
It's a free occupation, yeah,
Yes.
because I think people think when you say therapy, they think it's physio.
Rather, it's a free profession.
It's a free profession, eh? Yeah, I think they'd be thinking it's physio. You're going to take the child, they'll stretch the muscles, they'll do what, yes. So it's nice that you've explained that it's for the different activities
Yes.
at the different stages and the different
Yes.
social
Different
yes,
role you occupy.
you occupy in
Yes.
those different spaces. Okay.
So now that you support these children on the spectrum with their social context and the interchanging of those roles, can someone say that OT can cure autism?
Yes, that's a good question. Yes, a good question.
Do you think
Yes.
you know, because when you think about autism, most of the biggest challenge is usually with the social, you know, the social challenges, you know.
And the self-help, eh?
And yes, and the self-help and all
Yeah.
of that. So now if I get an OT, you know, person, afraid come,
Yes.
can teach my child how to dress up,
And
how to feed
Feed,
themselves.
groom.
After that, surely,
Uh-huh.
what is autism?
Yes. So does
So
yes.
the question is, can autism cure, rather, can occupational therapy cure autism?
Yes.
Ah, okay.
That's a good one, I think. Yeah.
Thanks for the question. However, it is very broad. First of all, autism and the related neurodevelopmental conditions presents with very many challenges. people living with such conditions have very many challenges. These challenges stem from different areas. So that makes it not only, the program is not only reliant on occupational therapy. So you find that there is a part the occupational therapy will serve, but another part will be served by dietary intervention. Another part will be served by medical intervention.
Speech. Others.
Speech. In some cases, maybe also physiotherapy. So can occupational therapy cure autism? I would say that occupational therapy can achieve the set goals, like I'm going to expound on that. However, curing autism is a collective on input from different interventions. Yeah. So when you sit back and you get so much occupational therapy. But I don't know whether I don't think that you will get cured. However, occupational therapy will help you to attain, to surmount some challenges. So in that sense, occupational therapy will identify where is this intervention going to help you, in which areas of your life is this intervention going to help you. So the therapist will have their assessment, will have their goals, and they will work on that. But in the bigger picture, I think, I presume that cure, you referred to a wholesome person. It will take a combination of interventions, but occupational therapy will definitely achieve what they will have to. They need to achieve, depending on the individual.
Okay. I think that's a very important reminder for us as parents, because when I had the list of things, honestly, it sounded amazing. Because I was like, really, all I have to do is put this thing there, and the rest we can maneuver. No, but I think it's a good reminder that, first of all, we have to be very attentive to our children's needs and make sure that we are balancing and giving them the necessary interventions, like you've said, not just OT, but also balancing it with other, therapies and interventions. So I think that was a really important reminder for us.
And I think not to look at it independently. And I also believe occupational therapy plays a big role in all these other interventions. Because, speaking from the experience of our dear Yona, we will go to the school to find out what are the challenges, and he will throw more light things. He'll bring things into perspective that maybe a teacher wouldn't have known.
So it'll be like a translator.
A translator, and he's kind of like directing the path that you should follow. Because maybe they'll mention that there's a challenge in this area, and then he'll say, but have you tried to maybe look at it from this angle? So the teacher will try that angle. And it is, you keep trying. You keep trying and saying, okay, this hasn't worked. Then how about, what if we take this other direction? And that comes also from the interventions he's been having with the children to guide the teacher, because the teacher may not know. All they know is, I need to get this child to learn. to learn something.
Yeah, and they have a fixated way in which they are supposed to do it and might not be open to other different.
Yes.
That's very nice.
Yes. So I think, yes, it doesn't cure, but it sets the path and guides. So I would think occupational therapist is like the pivot of all these other interventions.
That's really important because that also speaks to inclusion in many spaces, because where you don't have somebody like Fred to come and explain to a certain culture that's like fixed and set, then your child doesn't have the opportunity to learn or to grow in that space, because for them they are just looking at like, this is how the child should learn, this is how we are trained to do it, and we can't look at it in any other way. So that's actually a very good way to also introduce what, especially on the academic front, the role that OT plays in that. Hey Fred, you've done many things. You're here brushing, teeth feeding. There's also that's a big. So I guess that's what you meant when you said it's broad.
Yes.
That it's a really broad thing, and I don't even know if we would even be able to appreciate how broad it is in just this episode, because now, you know, there's all sorts of ideas that come to mind. I don't know, Claire, for you in terms of your daily practice as an educator in special needs, what do you see, like what are the benefits of having an OT working with you in your space, and how is that, you know, if you could shed some light?
I think it's just to build on from what Irene has said, that they're very important. They are, you cannot underscore their value. You can't oversell it or undersell it. They are relevant. I would like to think of it as you people were talking, I was thinking, my head is full of analogies. It's like making a cup of tea. All of us are going to drink a cup of tea, but it's very different. We're all going to mix it differently. You may want mujaja in yours, ntangauzi. You may want milk, more milk than water. I won't want milk, I won't want sugar. So I think in the education space, it's like you're making tea for different people. So you have to measure it right. And the occupational therapist comes and tells you, here you've put too much mujaja. This one is not going to drink that tea. That is not going to work. Or this one needs more sugar. Add more sugar for this one. So it's understanding that, yes, we are serving tea, but it's a different cup of tea and taste for everybody. Okay, that's the analogy. So I think they are very important in then addressing, okay, now let's measure. Okay, now they're ready to take more. We can increase the tea. Oh, there's too much caffeine, remove now. I think that's what the occupational therapist does. They look at the child and help you see what you're not seeing, and also help you to look outside the box. Am I right, Fred?
Yes.
To think outside the box. Sometimes you're fixated. 1 + 1 has to be 2. Yes, it's going to be 2, but let's get them there. Yes, and then they'll also see that 1 + 1 is 2. Is 2. Or sharing. I don't want to now speak for Fred. I think, Fred, you take us into the education space, in the academic space. I hope I'm saying it properly. How you see, or how you work in an academic setting, maybe you can tell us. I heard you say something about assessments, because that's how when you judge this cup of tea. So I want you to,
so keen
on that, yes. How do you work in an education space? Maybe take us through a typical, a mother has come, a family has come, this is our child, we're putting them in this setting. Help us.
Now in our society, I think even many societies all over the world, at a particular age, the child is expected to be starting school.
True.
So when I produce my child, I'll keep them somewhere until they're at that age. My friend will also do that. Even the other would also do that. Excuse me. With the in cases of neurodevelopmental challenges, it might not happen that way. It might be different. You might find this person living with a developmental challenge, and they are 4, but they are not able to sit in teacher Christine's class to learn maths.
Yes.
They prefer standing on the tables.
That's very true.
They prefer lying under the
Under
table.
the table. Very true. Yes.
So remember, we talked about a role.
Yes.
At 4, you expect this guy, Samson, is a schoolboy. That is his role.
Yes.
And there are things that you want to, I mean, you expect
A schoolboy.
a schoolboy to be doing. Now you start fighting with Samson, and you almost fail.
True.
Even teacher Christine almost fails. So, but you as a parent, you feel like at 4, if now Samson is not in school at 4, where should I put him? Will I put him in school when he's 20?
And I think that's most parents, yes.
So, but even the school, the teacher is saying, is not fit for here.
Try somewhere else, yes.
So now the occupational therapist will come in.
Okay.
Then they will say, okay, Samson is 4 years. Yes, it is true that he's expected to be seated in class, learning maths, learning English. But now the assessment comes in.
Okay.
Why isn't he able to do this?
Okay.
Yeah? How can be able to do this? Okay, if he's not able to do it like Eve,
Yes.
who is not having a neurodevelopmental challenge,
Yes.
how close to that can he be able to?
I like that. How close can
Yeah?
we get him?
Okay, if he's not able to even
Come close.
come close, what is the alternative? Yeah? So that is the occupational therapist.
Okay.
Yeah?
Okay.
If he's not able to, if he prefers holding the pencil like this, and he's expected to hold the pencil like this,
Yes.
how if he's not even close to holding it like
Yes.
this himself, what is the alternative? Can we go to the company and they make him a special pencil? Okay.
Yes, that's extreme.
That's
Yes.
a joke. Yeah, but the occupational therapist will use his evidence-based techniques to find what is going
What
to
works.
suit for Samson,
Samson.
to be able to be independent in that role.
As a student, as a 4-year-old schoolboy.
Exactly.
I like that.
Yeah, that's a huge advocate.
Yes.
Advocate.
And I think Fred, because we know Fred, has always said the world is not going to change. You're not going to go and buy that special pencil, that's Samson. So what can we do to help Samson to live in this world? Yeah?
What can we do?
Yeah, I mean, you always say the world is not going to change. This is the world we are in.
The world is not going to
It's not going to change. Okay, not as far as we know. So Samson has to fit in his role somehow. Eh?